if taxes don't fund spending, what does? And you just said it, Congress. Congress funds spending. Congress writes a bill into existence. Can you elaborate on that? I think it's pretty clear, but I want to make sure we knock that one out of the park.
Yeah, well, Congress authorizes the spending. And then that tells each of the agencies of government what they're allowed to spend. And with that authorization, they're authorized to do the spending. The Treasury will, for example, on the first of each month, tell the Fed to credit the bank accounts of all the Social Security recipients. Okay, it gets done. Now, the Fed and Treasury have worked out operating procedures to allow those payments to be made. And those operating procedures have changed greatly since 1913, when the Fed was created as this country's central bank to make those payments. The operating procedures can and do change. For the most part, what determines sort of the evolution of these operating procedures is the need to make tremendous volumes of payments to and from the Treasury and also lots of other payments that require clearing between banks and between banks and the Fed and between banks and the Treasury. And so these operating procedures that we've been working on since Stephanie Bell Kelton first started working on this in 1999 to find out exactly what those procedures are and why it is that they have created the procedures they use that make sure that the Treasury's checks never bounce and that you as a taxpayer never have your tax payments bounce as long as you have money in your account, right? So they worked out the procedures to make sure that all the payments clear. And that's what it's all about. It's all, you could say, it's technical operations. All countries do this. The US is unusual in that we do have one little possible glitch in all of this, which is that when we hit a congressionally imposed debt limit, the Treasury is no longer allowed to order those payments to be made. Okay, so that is our debt limit. In the past, and this has existed since 1913, so this little glitch, whenever we come close to that debt limit, Congress has always raised the debt limit so that we don't actually get this binding constraint on the Treasury spending. In recent years, the Republicans, when we get close to this debt limit, have threatened to force the Treasury to default on some of its promises to make payments. In the end, they've always given in, they've raised the debt limit. So we do have this strange thing, which is the debt limit, that could possibly get in the way of making payments as they come due.